Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook pages. I'm also on X too as well, okay, which used to be called Twitter. And of course, Elon Musk has changed the name. Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, but I try to keep it down and the nitty-gritty under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very, 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 very fucking important. And not important to most people of the general asses of masses. Ignorance is bliss. So I teach something very unique and esoteric here. All right? This is for educational purposes. I am a therapist. Went to college for 2 years. You don't necessarily need a degree to be a psychologist or a therapist. Those medical books always change all of the time, people. They change all of the time. This is why you go holistic, right? Sometimes nature can go against you. Sometimes when one person takes poppy seeds, okay, to relieve pain for someone else, it can actually hurt them, you know? So you can't use one thing for everyone. You can't, all right? That's why the stupid 19 thing, it's not compatible with everybody. So there's going to be adverse effects. So let's get on with the topic for today. Today's topic will be about don't argue with people who are NPCs and who are not capable of constructive thought. This is very important. I teach my daughters about constructive thought. My daughters are already excelling. They're going to be very well spoken for themselves when they get older. This is a great example of people who don't have constructive thought. Start asking the best way to systematically, pathologically, okay, through a path of system of questions, asking a line of questions to see if their logic is there. For example, empirical evidence, okay, you know, people don't even know what that is. People don't know what a biological male or a female is. So the best thing to do before you begin a civil debate, ask them if they're religious. Ask them if they do know what a biological male or female is. Okay. Now, if they're religious, they don't have constructive thought. Okay. Right? Religious people everywhere. When I was a child, my constructive thought kicked in because I always asked enough questions to break free from the chains of being brainwashed. You know, I just had this argument with this guy telling me that he can prove that Jesus exists. And I don't. You can't prove that. I ask people semantics. I go by semantics. I ask people, you see that sun up there, right? I said, the simple question, how do you know if the sun is real? How do you know it's not just some sort of big old light bulb in the sky or some kind of laser beam? Oh, because you can feel it? No, it's not about a feeling. There's no way to actually tell if that sun is real or not. Even if you get a telescope and you actually see it and visualize it, that does not mean it is real. The only way to actually kind of tell, even if you get up to it, even if you go to the sun and you have the capability to keep yourself in a bubble, a force field, you can't tell if it's absolutely real. Because I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the movie called The Matrix, right? When I was younger, I always thought that, okay, we live in certain constraints in this world, right? So I kind of doubt that we live in the Matrix, but we could also be living in a dream-like state. When you're dreaming, right, you have certain restraints that's put on you. I always thought about myself as flying in the air, okay, you know, or just being overly powered, superpowered, okay, or some kind of special ability. But a lot of times, we have these restraints. We don't have the secrets or the knowledge to do these things. But there's always some sort of restraint, right? Everything has conditions, right? Everything has conditions. When you breathe, you need a certain condition in the air just for you to breathe with the carbon monoxide, okay? Poison, okay, right? Poison. How do you know we had to breathe in this carbon monoxide poison, huh? Okay. Why do we need water? Shit like that, okay, right? But you guys got to stop pushing this thing where you think you are a constructive thinker. You're not. You're not. Most of you are not. You are not a constructive thinker. Most people are not, because either they're religious, they're a smoker, they're a drinker, they need to socialize, they need to be validated. You can't do that. I'm the indigo child to say this. This is why I don't socialize. And yes, I am an INFJ, yes. Okay, I am an indigo. Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you guys right now. There's not a lot of guys like me or women like, you know, my feminine side like me at all in the world. Okay, there's not a lot of people like us. They say in the Bible that there's 144,000 of the chosen ones, okay, in this world at one time. That's like less than 1% or some shit like that of 7 billion people. But please understand this. When you have enough common sense, you will listen to that raison d'etre, your ID. You will listen to that fucking third voice in your head, not just your subconscious. There is another voice that speaks to you. All right, so we got that out of the way. Don't argue with NPCs. And NPCs, or back in the days, I heard EDBs, emotional douchebags. Don't argue with them, because once you argue with them, you're gonna be drained by them, by their ignorance. Don't do it. The best thing to do to teach an NPC, an EDB, or an unconstructive thinker is to give them questions so they can break apart deductive reasoning. Most people don't have deductive reasoning like Batman. They can't plan and strategize. If a person don't play chess or is not even a gamer, okay, those are telltale signs right there. They're not a gamer. They play tic-tac-toe all of the time. They play Candy Crush. You can't have a reasonable debate with those individuals. When I tell women all the time, it's all about the man you choose and the education you have. That's all you really need. You have no education. You don't know what men to choose. Right? A lot of people are broke these days. But they don't want the real knowledge. They want to listen to individuals like Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate. They don't have the knowledge. Yeah, I have the knowledge, but I keep myself out of sight and out of mind. You can find me, but if you're interested. But the universe can only bring you to me unless you seek out the Emerald Pillar King. But anyway, I digress. That's all I really got to say about don't argue with them, because what's going to happen is that you got to educate them, and then they still don't want to hear you. They are so brainwashed and conditioned to believe in their so-called Jesuses and their Zeuses and their Horuses and their Krishnas and their, Shivas or Hoteps or the Israelites or any Bible-bumping religion that actually means to bind. Religion actually means to bind in Latin, yes. It's sad, but there's so many people out there. Just don't waste your energy. It's just a waste of time, man. What you can't waste your energy on is giving them a key. The key is actually in being inquisitive or in using deductive reasoning. Like, for example, if you want to know if God or Jesus exists, ask them to come to you in private. They will come, not in a dream, and then that means they have a limitation on their power. If they can't come to you, then that person doesn't exist or never did exist. Ask them. Ask any deity, as a matter of fact. Now, you may give them a reason for them not to show up, but that's beside the point, though. That means they have limited ability to come. And then or the deity is afraid to reveal themselves because you might change your life for the better. There's only one thing that can actually happen if they don't show up. You would just speculate that they don't exist. But they may exist in some kind of ethereal world, okay? But it will be kind of irrelevant because you are mature enough to understand them. You have to ask them to come into your home privately. One-on-one, mano-a-mano. If they don't show up, they don't exist. How about that? That's empirical evidence right there in front of you. They don't have the power to come to you. So what makes you think that they're the ones who created this world or doing everything in the first place or creating evil? The Bible clearly tells you that God is both good and evil. Clearly. Tells you when Jesus comes back, he's not coming with the fucking peace symbol. He's coming with a double-edged sword out of his mouth. That's wicked, babies. Come on now. And that's all I really got to say, guys. Don't argue with NPCs, EDBs, or unconstructive thought thinkers. Because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Check out my series down below. Or you can be a 304. Peace.